Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Solana is currently declining and the move to the downside is still in line with the short-term forecast. The price is following Bitcoin's forecasted one more low as well at the moment, and the price reacted for a second time now to the resistance area, and today when the price rallied a bit, the price could not break above yesterday's high. So all of that means the wave count doesn't need to change. And the wave 4 resistance that we discussed yesterday at $142 was sufficient. So the wave count doesn't need to change. I explored yesterday the idea that, okay, if we break above this level, because the move up looks corrective, I'm not going to be bullish directly. I first want to see how the price reacts to the next fib level, even though that would be too high for a wave 4. At least for a reliable wave 4, it could still be some kind of an internal B wave, but that, at least at the moment, doesn't seem to be necessary. So the idea remains that we are moving down in wave C of this larger triangle. So that idea hasn't changed. We're moving from the upper boundary line of the trend, of the range basically, to the lower boundary of the range, which is located at around $118, $119. We might get close. I'm not sure if we're going to test it, but the idea was already when we were up here that we're likely going to move to 133 next. We arrived. We've seen a first rally into resistance, but as I said to you, it's likely not finished this move to the downside. There is no low until we break at least above resistance or above the descending trend channel, because that would indicate a change in structure, or until we see at least a 5-wave move up, even on a smaller wave degree. None of that has happened. Therefore, the downward trend remains active. And all we can do now is to understand the context, the structure. So the context means, okay, what is the pattern we're moving within? And it's a wave 4, and that hasn't changed for months, that idea. So a wave 4 can be a triangle. A wave 4 could be a flat correction, a sideways correction, which obviously would then need a break below $119 at some point. We discussed that yesterday in detail. But because we are moving sideways here and because we're moving up and down in corrective structures, I decided to at least put a, let's say, triangle wave count onto the chart and track that. And the idea is that in this triangle count, we're now moving in the C wave, which is a WXY pattern, at least as per my interpretation. That means we're in the Y wave, and the Y wave is an ABC structure. And the A wave bottomed here on Tuesday, the 11th. The B wave topped on the 12th. And the C wave is likely now unfolding as an ending diagonal in which we completed. Waves 1, 2, 3, maybe. Maybe this is only wave A of 3, but okay, let's see. There's no low in place anyway until we fulfill one of these requirements that I mentioned to you. Then a wave 4 rally. And the wave 5 to the downside could sort of follow. So wave 5 down. The wave 5 to the downside could reach the 127.30 level or 123.76, maybe even 119. So condition is now obviously that today's high is holding. Against that, that's a key level. So I always need to give you the levels when we would need to change perspective. Obviously that would only require a change of perspective on the micro level, really. Okay, and we might explore then if we take out today's high, if we're dealing with a larger wave 4 or maybe even a wave B in a still unfolding third wave. I mean, that would be an alternative. But there's absolutely zero evidence that a low is formed yet, okay? So that's why I always say we need to wait for a signal, otherwise we are caught in a trap, okay? I'm sure a lot of people did go long here when we started to see some green candles, and that's okay, but don't do it out of emotion. That's the problem then. So still one more low expected at the moment. There's nothing that would invalidate that perspective at this stage. And as I said, the next levels are $127.30, $123.76, and $118 or $119. So that should be good support down here around 118, 119, and that's also where we have previous swing lows. A break below 118, 119 would invalidate the triangle. Well, that would potentially make it a little bit more directly bearish. Yeah, because then it would indicate that we're moving down in a direct, in a wave 4 more directly, It's not a triangle, so we don't get that DE pattern. It's just an A, B, and we're coming down in the C wave. And that would be potentially good because it would take less time, most likely, to complete this correction. If we continue to moving in a triangle, it can take many, many more weeks before we complete this correction. So we'll pay attention to the levels. There's no low in place until we get an impulse to the upside, or at least locally, locally a break above resistance. For now, everything remains unchanged on the chart. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.